Namaste, this is Ganesh Pujari and this is my third video after the Honorable Supreme Court's judgment on 11th August 2020 on the daughter's right over property. I have already loaded two videos, one completely explaining section 6 and all the important case laws, and then in my second video I answered two very important questions. Here I am coming again with two important questions. One is not asked by many. That question is, this everybody are thinking that is beneficial for daughters, but we all are forgetting that there is a huge benefit for the sons also. How is that? That one part I am going to explain. The second part is there are many questions related to somebody already been deceased or dead. Now what happens with their right? That question is also answered with three beautiful charts. Now if you are not a legal person, now the chart will help you to understand how exactly this particular act works. So I will explain that also, not taking much of your time. This is going to be very interesting with just 3 slides with 3 beautiful charts. I will directly take you to the first chart. Before getting into any kind of discussion on the first chart, the first and foremost understanding we need to have is, if the partition is over before 20th December 2004 via registration of the property or via final decree of a court. When I say final decree, remember it should be final decree, no preliminary decree. Now if it is a final decree or via registration, if it is been completed, then there is no question on that property. It is already settled. There can be no new disputes. And there is one provision which Supreme Court spoke in its judgment is the oral partitions. There is certain provisions available there which I will discuss in detail in my next video, but for now I am not getting in there too much. Here let's come to the chart. If you see the corner of my chart with red box, that is Radha, she is the main character of our story. Now come to the top of the chart. We have one Mr. A who is the grandfather of Miss Radha. Now he has acquired certain amount of property from his ancestors. Now A had two sons, one Mr. B, the other one is Mr. C. B again has two sons and a daughter, and C has one son and one daughter. That means Radha has a brother. Now the preset of the story is A, the grandfather of Radha, and C, the father of Radha, both of them dead before 9th September 2005. Why this date? Because on this date the Amendment Act 2005 came into effect. Now before it came into effect, both grandfather as well as her father is dead. The question here is whether Radha is going to get any share from her father's property. Now Radha's brother need not to worry because the original act itself protects the son, grandson, great grandson. However, the daughters are the new addition. Now her father is dead, her grandfather is dead. So is she really going to get the property? And the answer as per the new judgment is yes, Radha is going to get her share. Now A's property will be divided into two. B will get a 50%, C will get 50%. That means Radha's father and her uncle will get 50% each. And from B's property, his two sons and daughter, they all will get 1/3 of the share each. And from Radha's father, Radha and her brother will get 50% each share. That is how it is going to affect. That is all you need to remember. This is quite easy illustration. Now I am going to a little different scenario which is little tricky. Let's try understand with the same chart with slight changes. This is the second illustration. Now you need to observe everything very carefully. I have made few changes here. One, there is a grandfather of Radha, and here instead of discussing Radha's father, we are discussing about Radha's mother property. Okay, Radha's grandfather had two children, one son and a daughter. Now, the daughter is Radha's mother and she has an uncle who has three children, two sons and one daughter. We are not touching that part now. Let us focus on Radha's story. Now, Radha's grandfather is dead before 9th September 2005 and Radha's mother dead after 9th September 2005. Now, remember this, she dying after 9th September 2005 is very crucial, very important. I will explain you why in my next slide. But remember this line, she died after 9th September 2005. Here, Radha is eligible for property share from her mother because her mother has the right from her grandfather to get equal share in the property. So A's property will be divided into two and from there B would have got 50% of the property and C, the mother of Radha, would have got 50% of the property. Now there is the very interesting part of the story. All this time we were discussing that the daughter is going to get equal right in property. It is not just about daughter. It is about daughter's son also. Here, by C getting 50% of her share, she is again going to divide it into two parts. Her son is going to get 50% and then Radha would get 50%. So, here Radha and her brother will share the property equally, whichever is they have got from their mother. Their mother may be not alive as of 2020, but she died after 9th September 2005. Now, I said so many times she died after 9th September 2005. What if she died before 9th September 2005? You must be thinking that, so I will answer that in my next slide, which is a very important slide. This is the third scenario. Now here what happens, the story continues with the same alignment, Radha's grandfather and then mother and then the property issues. Here the only twist is Radha's grandfather dead before 9th September 2005, no issues there. But Radha's mother also dead before 9th September 2005. Here comes the question whether Radha and her brother will get share in the property or not. There comes the role of the argument put in by Shri Tushar Mehta, who is the Solicitor General of India, who has represented Union of India in this case, who very clearly told that the Amendment Act of 2005 is not retrospective but retroactive, which means the daughter maybe have born before 2005. She will get the right over the property by birth itself, but she will get that right only if she is alive after 9th September 2005. If she was dead before that date, in that case she will not get that right because this is retroactive, which is available for those daughters who are alive after 9th September 2005. Here, if Radha's mother is dead before 9th September 2005, in that case, she will not get any share from her father. That's why both Radha and her brother will also not get any share. I am repeating, this is represented by Shri Tushar Mehta, who is the Solicitor General of India, who represented Union of India in this case in the Supreme Court. I hope that makes very clear. With that, I am concluding this video. But yes, of course, this topic can never be concluded so easily. There are so many questions yet to be answered and you guys keep loading your questions. I will try answer few and I hope the people who are watching this video will also try answer few of your queries. And whenever I feel I have a right question and if I feel I know the answer for that, I will come up with one more video and explain as much as possible. Till then, this is Law for All. Please subscribe, please like, share and comment my videos. All the very best for whatsoever purpose you're watching my channel, and thanks again.